The sun hung low over Willow Creek that Sunday morning, casting a golden glow across the cul-de-sacs and manicured lawns of our little suburban enclave. It was the kind of day that begged for normalcy: kids on bikes, sprinklers hissing, the faint hum of a lawnmower somewhere down the block. My 12-year-old son, Ethan, was out front, zipping back and forth on a scooter, determined to nail a tail whip before the summer slipped away. He'd been at it for weeks, his helmet strapped tight, knee pads scuffed from practice falls. I watched him from the porch, sipping coffee, half smiling at his stubborn grit. The kid was good, better than good, and he stayed on our driveway, while clear of the street. It was our slice of peace, our property, our rules. Then came the screech of tires, not car tires, mind you, but the high-pitched whine of a golf cart pushed beyond its limits. I barely had time to register the sound before it happened. Margaret Voss, the self-appointed queen of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, came barreling around the corner like she was chasing down a fugitive. Her golf cart, a gaudy thing decked out with HOA stickers, a fake chrome grille, and those ridiculous little flags that flapped like she was leading a parade, veered straight into Ethan's path. I saw it in slow motion, the cart clipping his back wheel, Ethan wobbling, then crashing hard onto the pavement. His scooter skidded, mangled, and wedged itself under her bumper like a twisted trophy. I dropped my muget shattered on the steps and sprinted to him, heart pounding so loud it drowned out everything else. Ethan was groaning, curled on his side, clutching his arm. A bruise was already blooming across his ribs, dark and ugly against his pale skin. "Buddy, you okay? Stay still, just breathe," I said, my voice shaking as I checked him over. No blood, thank God, but his wrist looked wrong, bent at an angle that made my stomach lurch. And there was Margaret, stepping out of her cart like she'd just arrived at a gala, not a crime scene. No apology, no panic, just her, clutching her ever-present clipboard, her blonde bob unmoving despite the chaos. She adjusted her sunglasses, pursed her lips, and pulled out her phone. 911. "Yes, I need help immediately," she said, her voice dripping with rehearsed distress. "There's a man threatening me, and his child attacked my vehicle." I'm terrified. I froze, kneeling beside Ethan, my hand still on his shoulders. "Are you serious?" I shouted, my voice cracking. "You ran him over, Margaret." She didn't even flinch, just turned her back, one hand raised like she was shushing a toddler. "Sir, please don't escalate. You're unstable," she said, loud enough for the dispatcher to hear. It was surreal, like watching a play where the villain rewrote the script mid-scene. Ethan whimpered, and I snapped back to him. "Hang on, buddy. We're getting you to a doctor." I didn't have time for her theatrics, not yet. But as I scooped him up, I caught a glimpse of our doorbell camera, its little red light blinking steadily. It had seen everything. That tiny lens was about to become my best weapon. The police arrived fast, too fast, really a perk of living in an HOA neighborhood where Margaret's calls got priority. 2 cruisers rolled up, lights flashing, and she was already there, waving them down, tears miraculously streaming now, her hand pressed to her chest like she'd been stabbed by invisible arrows. I stayed with Ethan, explaining to one officer what happened, pointing to the wrecked scooter still lodged under her cart. He nodded, scribbling notes, but kept glancing at Margaret like she might spontaneously combust if he didn't keep an eye on her. She marched over as I helped Ethan sit up, her heels clicking on the asphalt. "You'll be hearing from the HOA," she snapped. "This behavior, unsupervised, children, reckless endangerment won't be tolerated. Your driveway isn't a skate park. I have it all on tape." I glared at her, adrenaline surging. Good, I shot back. "Because so do I." Urgent care confirmed what I feared. Ethan's wrist was fractured, his ribs bruised but intact. The doctor said he was lucky another inch, and it could have been his skull. I sat there in the sterile room, watching him doze off under painkillers, and felt the rage build. Margaret hadn't just hurt my kid, she turned it into a power play. I wasn't letting this go. That night, I pulled the doorbell footage. It was crystal clear, Ethan scooting in tight circles, well within our property line. Margaret's cart roaring around the bend at a speed no golf cart should hit. The collision, her fake panic as she dialed 911. I uploaded it to a private link for the HOA board, but on impulse, I also posted a 20-second clip to our neighborhood Facebook group. By morning, it had 5,000 views. By noon, someone had dubbed it Margaret's Meltdown and set it to a hip-hop beat. It wasn't about the attention, Thuffit was about leverage. The next day, a letter arrived from the HOA. Not an apology, not an inquiry fines. Two of them, $250 for failure to supervise a minor resulting in a community hazard, and $300 for obstructing a designated pathway because Ethan's scooter had impeded Margaret's cart. I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound that echoed in the kitchen. She wasn't just dodging blame. She was punishing us for our own mess. That's when I called my sister, Rachel. She's a lawyer, not the big city kind, but the small-town type who'd once made a judge apologize for interrupting her. She flew in the next day, all sharp eyes and sharper heels, and hugged Ethan so tight he winced through his cast. "Show me everything," she said, plopping down at the table with a legal pad. I handed her the HOA bylaws, the fine notices, and the footage. 2 hours later, she leaned back, grinning. "This is a gold mine. Half these rules are unenforceable, and the rest? Illegal as hell." She pointed out the cracks. Fines issued without a hearing, Margaret's patrols in a souped-up golf cart that violated state vehicle codes, a surveillance camera she'd mounted on a community pole aimed straight at my house that no one else on the board had approved. "And this," Rachel said, tapping the screen where Margaret rehearsed her 911 call on her own feed, "is defamation, harassment, and a false report rolled into one. We got her." The camera was the kicker. I'd logged into the HOA, portal open to all residents in, found the feed she'd rerouted a spy on my driveway. There she was, muttering about my non-compliant flower pots, practicing her victim act. It was unhinged, and it was public. Rachel and I watched, jaws dropped, as she staged a fake confrontation. "If he comes at me, I'll scream just like this." She was her own worst enemy, and she didn't even know it. Word spread. Neighbors started showing up first misses. Harper with a casserole and a whispered, "She's lost it." Then the Garcias, who'd been fined for excessive barbecue smoke. We turned my garage into a war room, piling up old fines, photos of Margaret's overreach, even a grainy shot of her measuring a neighbor's grass with a ruler at dawn. A retired mechanic, Tom, brought a binder of HOA violations he'd tracked for years. "She fined me for a birdhouse," he grumbled. Said it was too rustic. Ethan, meanwhile, became a local legend. Kids at school dubbed him Scooter King, and someone taped a sign to our mailbox, "Driveway rights matter." He took it in stride, even joking through the painkillers. "Guess I'm famous now. Can I sign stuff with my left hand?" I laughed, but inside I was plotting. Margaret had crossed the line, and we were crossing back. The HOA board was next. They'd backed her for years, but cracks were forming. I leaked a clip of her calling the treasurer a spineless pencil pusher from her own camera feed, and suddenly, loyalty shifted. Then came her final overreach, a letter banning Ethan from all communal zones for reckless mobility. Rachel snorted. "Banning a kid from walking? She's begging for a reckoning." We struck at the annual HOA meeting. The room was packed, people who'd never cared before now crammed in, buzzing with anticipation. Margaret strutted in late, wearing a sash that read, "HOA Visionary 2025, clipboard gleaming." She launched into a speech about resilience and minor incidents blown out of proportion, but I cut her off when the floor opened. "I've got something to share," I said, plugging a thumb drive into the projector. The footage played. Ethan's crash, her 911 lies, her gazebo ran about fear trumping legality caught by a goat named Bucky, whose collar cam Tom had rigged. The room erupted. "You're a bully," someone yelled. "My patio lights got me a fine," another added. Margaret stammered. "This is slander. That goat's illegal." But Rachel stood, handing the board a petition signed by 28 households. The vote was swift. Margaret was out, banned from leadership for a decade. She stormed off, her clipboard snapping in half as she slammed it down, her cart's hubcaps spinning into the lot like a fallen crown. We thought that was it. We were wrong. A week later, a letter arrived from Victor P. Lawton, ESQ, accusing me of defamation and goat-based espionage. Rachel cackled. This is clownery. She countersweat for Ethan's bills, emotional distress, HOA abuse, the works. The neighborhood rallied. Statements, screenshots, even a former cop who'd seen Margaret's cart speeding months ago. The hearing was a circus. Margaret showed up with Victor, a sweaty guy in a cheap suit who objected to the air itself. Rachel dismantled them, playing every clip, citing every law. Margaret claimed Ethan Dove at her cart. The judge, a no-nonsense woman, shut her down cold. You hit a child, then find his family. Sit down. The ruling? Margaret owed $12,000 for Ethan's care and damages, plus $16,000 in voided HOA fines. Her cart was seized. Turns out she'd lied about its use on her insurance. Outside, neighbors cheered. Ethan waved, his cast a mosaic of signatures. Margaret's house went up for sale days later, egged twice before she vanished. The HOA rewrote its rules. The paths opened to scooters, and someone painted a mural of Bucky atop a clipboard pile. Ethan healed, mastered his tail whip, and taught the neighborhood kids. Me? I slept easier, knowing we'd beaten a tyrant with a goat, a camera, and a kid who wouldn't quit. Justice didn't roll in on wheels, it trotted in on hooves, and we were ready for whatever came next. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.